Your bank account hit zero exactly 3 minutes ago in a Beirut apartment, and the life you spent a decade building has officially evaporated. May 2026 isn't just another month, it is the deadline you missed. The monitors in the other room are still humming, displaying the final red line crash of your assets, but watching them won't bring the money back. The silence in this living room is the sound of your total financial ruin. 9 years, collecting the small, weighted pieces of a history that now feels like a burden. 2 floors down, a door slams. It sounds like a gavel hitting a block. You are 28 years old, and you are learning that the hardest part of displacement is not the noise of the shelling. It is the absolute, suffocating quiet of a room that no longer recognizes you. You reach for the backpack on the floor. It is canvas, worn at the edges, a bag you once used for weekend trips to the mountains. Now it is a vessel for your survival. You have exactly 40 minutes before the road to the northern district becomes impassable. The first rule of this exodus is simple. If you cannot carry it in your hands, it does not exist. You walk to the bookshelf. The spines of your favorite novels lean against each other like old friends. You run a finger over the textured dust on the jackets. You want to save them all, but you have room for one. Just one. You pull out a copy of a poetry collection with a frayed spine, then you put it back. A memory is not a physical object, you tell yourself. You are lying. You know that without the object, the memory will eventually blur into gray mist. You move to the kitchen. The refrigerator hums, a low-frequency sound that has defined your mornings for 3,000 days. There is a half-empty carton of milk and a bowl of cherries on the counter. You leave them there. The triviality of the unfinished meal hits you with the force of a physical blow. You aren't leaving a house. You are leaving an archive. Behind every cabinet door is a layer of your identity. A wedding gift, a chipped mug from a college trip, the spices your mother mailed from the village. All of it is going to stay. You realize that the home is not a sanctuary. It is a trap made of memories that hold you in place while the world shifts around you. Over 1 million people in this country have been displaced since March. 20% of the population is currently deciding what to leave behind. You are just one statistic among a sea of others, a single unit of human capital being liquidated by the sheer force of a shifting front line. The third rule is proximity. Proximity to safety is the only currency that matters now. You walk to the closet and pull out your winter coat. It is thick, warm, and unnecessary for the season. You pack it anyway. It is the only thing you own that smells like home. You check the passport tucked into the inner pocket. It is valid. The stamp on the last page from 2 years ago, a trip that seems like a lifetime away. You feel the weight of your own agency narrowing. Every step you take from this point forward is a retreat. You are not going toward a dream. You are fleeing a nightmare that has become the new geography of your existence. The silence in the room is broken by a sudden, sharp rattle of a window pane. It is not an explosion. It is just the wind, or perhaps a truck passing by, but your heart hammers against your ribs with the precision of a clock. You move to the mirror in the hallway. You look at yourself. You look tired, but you aren't sure if that is the word for it. You are depleted. You have been living in a state of hypervigilance since the escalation began, calibrating your life around the probability of safe travel. The government requested $308 million for humanitarian aid, but they have received less than 30% of that. You know what that means? It means you are heading into a void. Most people who flee now end up in cars, in parks, or squatting in storefronts. Official shelters are full, and even if they weren't, they only cover 15% of the people moving tonight. You are not a guest. You are a refugee in your own country. You pick up the bag. It is lighter than you thought it would be. That is the ultimate insult. You have lived 28 years, and the sum total of your life can be carried on your shoulders. You walk to the front door. Your hand rests on the cold metal of the handle. This is the moment where the history of your life splits into a clear binary state before the door opens and after it closes. You take a breath. It is a slow, measured intake of air that feels like the last time you will ever breathe this specific mix of city dust and jasmine. You turn the lock. The click is loud, definitive, and final. You do not look back. If you look back, the weight of the objects will anchor you to the spot until the wall collapses around you. You step into the hallway, and the silence of the apartment is replaced by the distant, chaotic hum of a city that is evacuating in real time. Outside, the streets are a river of red taillights. People are moving in silence. No one is talking. There is no panic, because panic is for when there is still time to negotiate. Here, there is no negotiation. You walk toward the curb, looking for a ride that you are not sure is coming. You see a family pushing a stroller piled high with blankets. A child is crying, but the sound is swallowed by the idling engines of hundreds of cars. You feel a strange sense of detachment. You are part of a migration that has happened here for generations, a cycle of displacement that turns buildings into scars. Your family lived through the 1975 conflict. They lived through the 2006 crisis. Now, you are doing the same. You are the inheritor of a fragile timeline, and you are currently carrying the burden of that legacy in a single, fraying bag. The road is congested. You wait for 20 minutes, then 30. The logic of the city has broken down. The infrastructure is paralyzed. You watch a group of people abandon their car in the middle of the lane and continue on foot. You decide to join them. You shift the weight of the bag. It digs into your shoulder, a sharp reminder of the things you chose to leave behind. You don't think about the books or the spices or the photo of your grandmother anymore. You think about the distance. You think about the cost of safety. You realize that you have moved from a person with a history to a person with a destination. The destination is an empty lot in a town 3 hours north, a place you have never been and where you know no one. The uncertainty is not just a fear, it is a physical reality that you are stepping into one stride at a time. As you walk, the city skyline fades into the haze of the night. You catch a glimpse of your reflection in a darkened store window. You don't recognize the person looking back. That version of you had an apartment. That version of you had a schedule. That version of you believed that life was something you could build rather than something you had to survive. That person is gone. The quote unquote normal life was an illusion sustained by a stability that never really existed. You are learning the hard truth that power is not what you own. Power is the ability to walk away when the system breaks. And the system has broken. It is shattering all around you. And you are just another shard of glass being swept out into the dark. You reach the perimeter of the city. The lights of the urban center are behind you now, a fading glow against the black sky. You reach into your pocket and find a small, smooth stone you picked up on a beach years ago. You didn't mean to pack it. It just happened to be in your jacket. You squeeze it in your palm. It is the only thing you brought that has no utility. It is pure, useless, beautiful memory. You close your eyes for a second, just a single heartbeat of stillness, and you feel the weight of everything you didn't bring. It isn't just the objects. It's the life you were supposed to have. It's the person you were supposed to become. All of that is trapped in the apartment you just locked. You open your eyes. The road ahead is long, dark, and filled with people just like you, carrying their own invisible luggage of grief and fear. You don't know if you will ever return. You don't know if the building will still be standing when this is over. But you know one thing. You are still moving. You are still a functioning unit of survival. You take another step, then another. The cadence of your walk becomes your new rhythm. The silence is gone, replaced by the shuffling of thousands of feet and the soft murmur of people who have lost their past but are desperate for a future. If you want to understand how the architecture of a life is dismantled, you know what to do. You keep walking until you reach the next horizon. You keep moving until the silence is replaced by a reason to stay. And even then, you keep the bag packed because you know now that nothing is permanent. Everything is transient. Everything is for sale. And at the right price, even a home can be erased. You are the witness to your own departure. You are the architect of your own survival. And you are, for the first time in your life, entirely, terrifyingly free.